Si ya hablas inglés, no sería muy difícil para aprender español. Hoy, for the beginning, we will debunk 3 myths claiming that Spanish is difficult to learn. Adios, Monroe. 然后再拿一个油条。Did you know that you can even put raw eggs into porridge? Brilliant, huh? If you're watching this list, this is a conjunction of Spanish verbs. It looks quite complicated because it has indicative, subjunctive, imperative, etc. It will be extremely difficult because they are irregular verbs too. But the fact is that you don't have to understand it perfectly to get other people to understand you. And also there are smarter ways to get around it. Like you can just remember a few conjugation of words, and then you can use that word plus the original form of another word. It can also form proper grammar. And if you spend just a little bit of time, you will know the verb end with AR, ER, IR, and there are rules to follow. So in fact, it is not that difficult. The second myth is lo, la, sta. Actually, you don't have to learn it mechanically. You can actually learn grammar by hearing it constantly. Like dámelo, me lo da means give it to me, or me gusta este, or me gustan ellos. Grammar can be quite difficult if you want to focus it and learn it, but if you just learn it by daily life, you heard it and you practiced it and no question asked, that will be actually easier. And when you get used to a lot of sentence, then you will understand automatically about the grammars. And in Spanish, for nouns, they have gender, like male or female or even neutral. Actually, you don't need to worry about that because even if you messed up the gender, with provided content, you can still get people to understand you. The third myth is spoken Spanish quite fast. The fact is, there are Spanish from Spain, from South America, from Chile, Colombia, so different areas, the speed might be different. And don't worry about speed, because you can always say un poco lento, por favor. The more time you spend, the more content you watch, you will get used to that kind of rhythm, and everything will start to become easier. Gotta go, talk to you later. Kelsey. 茶颜悦色. And now let's talk why learning Spanish is easy. The first one is the pronunciation. Compared to English, it only has one extra letter, which is end with the tilde. You can pronounce it like ni. In Spanish, it's niño or niña, something like that. And what's more, for Spanish letters, they always pronounce the same. For instance, like a restaurant. In English, it's kind of restaurant. But in Spanish, it is restaurante. So each letter is pronounced. And also, Spanish is kind of more logical. For instance, in English, it is a parachute, right? But in Spanish, it is paracaídas. Para means for, and caída means drop. So paracaída is quite logical, right? And also there is something like paraagua, which is umbrella. Another example is souvenir. In English it is souvenir, but for Spanish it's something like so beni. Although so in Spanish is arma, but so beni, like you so come back. It makes perfect sense, huh? And Spanish does not only share the same letters as English, but for a lot of words, like active in Spanish is activo, and a lot of other commonly used words are also similar as English. Enough pep talk. So how we can actually learn Spanish? Well, actually I have made a video before talking about how to learn English, and it is kind of similar. For Spanish, I would recommend you to watch Learn Spanish with Spanish Puedo 101 and Español con Juan, and also Butterfly Spanish. They are kind of focused on the beginner tutorial, and also they repeat the information multiple times, which is easier for us to remember. And then there are other channels like Español con Maria, Español con Vincent, Maria Español, Why Not Spanish. Different channels have different hosts. Obviously, you can choose whoever you would prefer. And the only caveat I want to mention is that sometimes they will discuss some slangs, and sometimes they will discuss the difference between this verb and that verb, like the dra and beni, and also the rolling r, which is dr. Although it's great that if you can pronounce, because in Russian Thai or even France, they kind of have similar letters which pronounce almost the same, but you know what, even a lot of natives are not able to pronounce that, so don't worry. And finally, we are living in a world with explosive information which are more than we can process. So really, we need to spend our time wisely. I believe only by this way we can be the jack of all trades and master of something. So I hope you good luck in learning Spanish, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.